同学们，大家好！现在我们讲新概念第三册的34课，我先把课文念一遍啊。Happy discovery. Antique shops exert a peculiar fascination on a great many people. The more expensive kind of antique shop, where rare objects are beautifully displayed in glass cases to keep them free from dust, is usually a forbidding place. But no one has to muster up courage to enter a lesser pretentious antique shop. There is always hope that in its labyrinth of musty, dark, disordered rooms, a real rarity will be found amongst the piles of assorted junk that litter the floors. No one discovers a rarity by chance. A truly dedicated searcher for art treasures must have patience and, above all, the ability to recognize the worth of something when he sees it. To do this, he must be at least as knowledgeable as the dealer. Like a scientist bent on making a discovery, he must cherish the hope that one day he will be amply rewarded. My old friend Frank Halliday is just such a person. He has often described to me how he picked up a masterpiece for a mere £5. One Saturday morning, Frank visited an antique shop in my neighborhood. As he had never been there before, he found a great deal to interest him. The morning passed quickly, and Frank was about to leave when he noticed a large packing case lying on the floor. The dealer told him that it had just come in, but that he could not be bothered to open it. Frank begged him to do so, and the dealer reluctantly prized it open. The contents were disappointing. Apart from an interesting-looking carved dagger, the box was full of crockery, much of it broken. Frank gently lifted the crockery out of the box and suddenly noticed the miniature painting at the bottom of the packing case. As its composition and line reminded him of an Italian painting he knew well, he decided to buy it. Glancing at it briefly, the dealer told him that it was worth £5. Frank could hardly conceal his excitement, for he knew that he had made a real discovery. The tiny painting proved to be an unknown masterpiece by Correggio, by Correggio, and was worth thousands of pounds. 好，那么我们看这个课文的第一句啊，Antique shops exert a peculiar fascination on a great many people。这个是一句简单句啊。The more expensive kind of antique shop, where rare objects are beautifully displayed in glass cases to keep them from the is usually a forbidden place。啊，那么这一句呢，首先我们来看这个主语啊。The more expensive kind of antique shop 啊，那么这个是一个主语。那么后面呢，这个 where rare objects are beautifully displayed in glass cases to keep them free from dust， 这个呢是一个地点状语从句啊。这个是修饰这个叫 shop 的，这个 shop 这哪个地方？这是 shop 啊。Where rare objects are beautifully displayed in glass cases to keep them free from dust 啊，那么这个是一个地点状语从句。那么这里面有一个定语从句不定式啊，这个不定式做状语的啊，就是应该是目的状语 ，to keep them from the dust 啊 ，keep them free from dust 啊。然后呢，这个是主句的谓语啊 ，is usually a forbidden place 啊，这个是主句的谓语。等于说是 kind of an antique shop is usually a forbidden place. But no one has to muster up courage to enter a lesser pretentious antique shop. 这个是一句简单句啊。那么 那么这里面有一个不定式 to enter less present， 这个也是状语，伴随性状语啊。那么there's always hope that in its labyrinth musty dark disordered rooms a real reality will be found amongst the piles。 好，这一句啊，这一句呢有一个 that 分句啊。That in its labyrinth amongst the rooms, a reality will be found amongst the piles 啊，这个是一个 that 引导的一个名词性的从句啊。这个从句做这个同位语啊，做 hope 的同位语的啊。它这个从句是这个 hope 的同位语啊。That in its blah 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 a reality will be found 嘛，这个从句也是一句简单句啊。Among piles of sorted junk 啊 ，sorry。这个从句啊，这个从句里面还有一句，还有一句定语从句啊。我没注意啊，前面我说的是这样子 ，that little the floor 啊，这个是一个定语从句啊，这个定语从句修饰这个 junk 的啊 ，the junk little the floors 啊，那么这个是一句定语从句啊，这里面还有一句你一不小心就漏掉了，对吧？好。后面 No one discovers a reality by chance 简单句啊。A truly dedicated searcher for art treasures must have patience and above all the ability to recognize the worth of something when he sees it。 好，那么这一句啊，首先一个主句呢是 A truly dedicated searcher for the art must have patience 啊，那么这个宾语啊，一个是 patience 对不对？这个是宾语，主句的宾语啊。然后呢，它还有并列的 ，and above all 是一个状语，就是说表示是above all and above all。好，这里的 and 啊，这里 and 它把两个宾语连起来的啊，一个是 patience and the ability to recognize the worth of something when he sees it 啊，这个两个是宾语啊，把用一个 and 把它并列起来的啊 ，and the ability 后面这个 to recognize 啊，这个呢是一个不定式，对不对？这个不定式是修饰这个 ability 的啊，这个 ability 这个宾语的啊，宾语它这个是 ability 是修饰这个这个不定式是修饰这个 ability 的，什么 ability？To recognize the worth of something when he sees it 啊，那这个是一个时间状语从句啊，当他看到的时候啊 ，when he sees it， 这时间状语从句啊。然后呢 ，to do this，he must be at least as knowledgeable as the dealer。那么这个是一句比较句啊 ，as 的比较句 ，as knowledgeable as the dealer 啊。Like a scientist bent on a discovery, he must cherish the hope that blah blah blah。好，那么这一句啊 ，like a scientist bent on making a discovery 啊，这个是一个介词短语，对不对啊？这个是介词短语。这个介词短语里面呢，有一个过去分词的短语 ，bent on making a discovery， 这个是过去分词的短语啊。那么这个过去分词短语呢，应该是就是这个 scientist 的。那么这个 bent， 我们查一下这个 bent 就是 bend 的那个过去时态，应该是啊 ，bent bent 啊，bend 啊，就是 bend 的过去，这个是过去分词。那么大家注意了啊，这个过去分词啊，大家注意这里啊。首先第一个，它是这个 bend 的过去分词，还有一个大家注意啊，这里还有一个形容词啊，它有个形容词是什么？是 determined to make a course of action 啊 ，determined 啊。那么大家注意啊，这里的这个 bent 啊，那么我们可以说它是一个什么？我们既可以说它是一个过去分词短语，对不对？但是呢，其实呢，这里呢，它是一个形容词短语， 那么这个 banter 这里啊是形容词啊 ，banter on 啊 ，banter 是一个形容词啊 ，banter on 什么呢？是一个形容词词组啊。这个 banter 这里呢已经是由过去分词啊演变过去的那个演变过来的一个形容词啊 ，banter on making a discovery 啊。那么那么像这种呢，英文里面很多的过去分词做演变过来的形容词啊，很多很多的啊。那么这里要注意了，这个是已经这个 banter 这里已经不是过去分词了，是一个形容词了啊。banter on making a discovery 啊 ，he must cherish the hope that one day he will 好。那么这里呢又有一个同位语从句 that one day he will be amply rewarded， 这个呢就是修饰这个 hope 的。也不是修饰 hope， 它就是做这个 hope 的同位语的啊，做 hope 的同位语的。That one day he will be amply rewarded. My old friend Frank Holiday 啊，那 Frank Holiday is just such a person。这个是一句简单句啊。He has often described to me how he picked up a masterpiece for a mere £5啊。那么这个呢，这个里面有一个宾语从句啊 ，how he picked 这个呢是一个间接语问句啊，这个是间接语问句做宾语，由 how 引导的间接语问句做宾语的，做 describe 的宾语的 ，describe how he picked up a masterpiece for a mere £5啊，这个是一个宾语，做 describe 的宾语的啊。One Saturday morning, Frank visited an antique shop in 这个也是简单句啊。然后是 as he had never been there before, he found a great deal to interest him。那么这个呢这里是一个原因状语从句啊，这是 as 引导的一个原因状语从句，原因状语从句啊。He had never been there, he found a great deal to interest him 啊。The morning passed rapidly.And Frank was about to leave when he blah blah blah。好，那么首先呢，这个呢是两个句子的并列。第一句就是 The morning passed quickly， 这一句呢跟后面这句啊是并列的啊，它用了一个 and 并列的啊。那么这个第二句句子里面啊，这第二句句子里面呢又有一个什么？又有一个时间状语从句。When he noticed a large packing case lying on the floor 啊，这个呢是状语从句，第二句里面的状语从句啊。那么 the dealer told him that it had just come in, but that he could not be bothered to open it 啊。那么好，那么这个呢就是说，这个里面呢就是说 told him that it had just but that 这个是宾语从句啊，这个宾语从句有两句宾语从句啊，两句宾语从句用一个 but 来并列的，这个呢他把两句从句并列起来了啊。第一句从句是什么 ？That it had just come in， 这个是第一句从句，这个是做这个 told 的宾语的，对不对？这是第一个宾语从句。然后呢，它跟这个用 but 并列起来呢，这第二个宾语从句呢 ，that he could not be bothered to open it 啊。那么这个呢是第二句从句，这两句从句呢，它用一个 but 把它并列起来了。它这个呢都是做这个 told 的宾语的啊，这个是宾语从句，它也是做 told 的宾语的啊。然后 Frank begged him to do so。And the leader reprised it open 啊，那么这个呢是两句句子并列，一个呢是 Frank begged him to do so 啊，这个是第一句，对不对？然后呢，第二句呢 ，and 第二句呢 ，the dealer reluctantly prised it open 啊，那么这个呢，他呢用这个。and 呢，把这个两句呢，就把它连起来了啊。那么这里啊，这个 prize 啊， 这里 price 呢，这个现在美国人的拼法应该是 PRICED 啊 ，price 这里撬开来啊，撬 priced it 啊，那然后呢，这个呢是不是补语啊？这个是宾语补语啊 ，priced it open 啊，这个是宾语补语啊，啊，然后 the contents were disappointing 这个简单句，对不对？然后 apart from an interesting looking carved dagger。The box was full of crockery, much of it broken. 啊，那么这个呢，就是说，这个其实是应该是一句简单句啊，就是 apart from 就是 dagger，前面一个是介词词组，对不对？然后这个主句是 the box was full of crockery。啊，那么我们来看这个啊，much of it broken 啊，这个是一个过去分词的词组啊。这个又是一个叫我们称之为叫无动词的非限定句子啊。这个非限定句的主语是 much of it 啊，然后这个过去分词是 broken 啊，它是以过去分词引导，这个是一个过去分词短语啊。这个过去分词短语呢，它的主语是 much of it 啊，然后是 broken。那么它没有那个限定动词的，所以它是非限定句啊。那么这个呢，就是等于说呢是 much of it was broken 啊。你如果用限定句的话，就是 was broken 啊。那么这里呢，这个 broken 呢，就是说你可以把它也可以是过去分词演变成一个形容词啊。那么但是呢，这里呢，它基本上是作为一个过去分词啊，因为如果你那样说的话呢，much of it was broken 啊，broken 这个词啊，就是说，同学们，这是过去分词啊跟形容词啊，有的时候很难区别的啊，因为你也可以说形容一个动作，也可以说是它是一个状态。如果你说它是一个状态的话，它就是形容词，比如 broken， 它已经碎掉了，对不对？那就是个形容词。如果你要动作的话，它被打碎了或怎么样那这样这里的话，它做描述一个状态的，基本上这个 broken 啊也是属于形容词啊。那么好，后面我们看 Frank gently lifted the crockery out of the box and suddenly noticed a miniature painting at the bottom of the。这个是一句简单句，两个谓语啊，一个是 gently lift the crockery out of the box。对不对？然后后面一个是 suddenly notice the miniature painting at the bottom， 这个两个呢，它用一个 and 呢，把两个谓语连起来了，对不对？好 ，as its composition and line reminded of an Italian painting he knew well, he decided to buy it 啊。那么这个呢是一个原因状语从句啊，这个是一个 as 引导的原因状语从句。由于its composition line reminded him of Italian painting he knew well。He decided 那个主句是 he decided to buy it， 对不对？然后呢，这个原因状语从句啊，这个原因状语从句里面啊，还有一句定语从句 he knew well。这个 he knew well 是修饰这个 Italian painting 的，这个 painting he knew well。那么这个关系代词因为做宾语啊，它把它省略了啊，所以说 he knew well 是定语从句，修饰这个 painting 的啊。好，后面 glancing at it briefly。The dealer told him that it was 那么这个嘛就是这个现在分词短语啊，做状语的，对不对？然后这个 dealer told him that it was worth £5， 这个是宾语啊，宾语从句，这个是做 told 的宾语的，这个是一个宾语从句 ，that 引导的宾语从句啊，名词性从句 ，that it was 然后 Frank could hardly conceal his excitement, for he knew he had 好，那么这个呢，就是说有 for 引导的一个原因状语从句，因为he knew， 这个是一个原因状语从句，这个原因状语从句里面呢又有一个宾语从句 ，that he had made a real discovery， 这个呢做 knew 的宾语的，这又是一个宾语从句。 那么这个呢是一个原因状语从句，对不对 ？For he knew that 啊，这个原因状语从句里面呢包含了一句宾语从句。The tiny painting proved to be an unknown masterpiece and was blah 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 啊，这个呢也是一句简单句啊。这一句简单句呢，它两个谓语啊，把它并列起来了。一个呢是 proved to be an unknown masterpiece by Correggio， 对不对？这个是 Correggio 啊 ，Correggio 或者是怎么样？这个我拼不出来啊，我就念不出来啊，我念不一定准啊 ，Correggio 啊。那么这个是一个谓语啊。然后呢，第二个谓语是 was thousands of pounds， 这是第两个谓语，把它并列出来了啊。那么这一课呢就讲到这里啊，谢谢大家，再见。